Broadcasting throughout the fruited plains of the greatest success story the world has ever known, the United States of America. It's time for a fresh, new conservative voice. The C.L. Bryant Show is on the air. Welcome back, everybody throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the planet, the greatest success story the world has ever known, and that is America. I want to welcome all of you to the C.L. Bryant Show, where we build the bridge to conversation throughout our great nation, right here over the airwaves of Loving Liberty and our affiliates. Hey, folks, well, the news is broken about 30 minutes ago. Kristi Noem is out. Mark Wayne Mullins is in as Homeland Security Secretary and Director. Hey, you know what? Just me. I'm just me saying it. I think Kristi was hated because she's pretty. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Incredibly intelligent woman, very capable woman. From the very beginning, I'm telling you, and I said this before, we can go back to the archives. I think they hate her because she's pretty. Okay, well, what are you going to do about it? But anyway, Mark Wayne Mullins is in. Nothing pretty about Mark, but he's a very good, strong man to replace her for a Department of Homeland Security. And I really believe that right now, especially, we need someone strong at the head of that department. When we look at Homeland Security, when we look at our immigration policies, and when we look at the opportunities that are here in the land of the free and the home of the brave, we look at how we were founded and people who have come here to take advantage of that, as all of us have or should be. And it always amazes me how people who have been here 4, 5, 6 generations fail to see the great opportunity that is so much America. My next guest, my next two guests, Sylvia and Ernie, they are people who I certainly admire, and they're going to tell you their story, and we're going to share with them here for a bit in this today's conversation and on today's show. Because when we talk about the opportunities and in America and the lack of opportunities in other places or places where opportunity once existed, but now has gone away because of the heavy weight of socialism. When we talk about that, and when we talk about people who understand that and are ministering in order to help others understand that and are bringing the light of Jesus Christ wherever they go, not only in word and deed, but Sylvia now has a book that we want to tell you about. And so help me welcome Sylvia and Ernie to the C.L. Bryant Show, not their first rodeo with me. Thank you so much for being on. How are you?
We're doing great, CL. Thank you for having us back. We really appreciate your time, your love, your trust. And yes, we are here to help, understanding that this is truly the best country in the entire universe.
Sylvia, when you were Sylvia is a Venezuelan by birth, and when you were there, give me an idea of how you viewed America then as versus now, or is it the same? Talk to us about that.
Well, I always admire this nation, CL, always. And to paint a picture, I was only a teenager. Okay, but my parents used to come here for vacation, not only here, but to other parts of the world. And they always came back with amazing reports from the US. So that put in my heart this desire to come and study here for my university. So when I was thinking about the United States, I was probably 15, 14, 15, 16, and finally when I came, I was 18 years old. So it was like a dream come true for me because I knew that this country had a wonderful education, it had wonderful people, um it has something different in their hearts. And you know what, when I was in Colorado the first year of my university, CL, the first year, I did not have a car and I had to ride the bus. And I saw something very unique that I had never seen in my life before. So while I was there waiting for the bus to come, I saw people coming, putting a quarter in those dispensers, to get the newspaper. I'm
Yes.
sure that you remember those. So
Yes. Oh, oh,
anyway,
oh, yes. I
yeah.
remember. I used to fill them up as a kid. I was a paper boy.
So, people put the quarter, open the entire tray full of newspapers, and got only one, and close it. And I kept seeing that, over and over, and I say, what is this? It is so much honesty.
Yeah.
It's like they knew that somebody was looking at them. If that would happen back then in Venezuela, I mean, people will open it up, get all the newspapers, and
Wow.
sell them out, you know?
Yeah,
So,
there was a time in the country, Sylvia, Ernie, and Ernie, I want to hear from you as well because you too have your story to tell of how you came to this
Yes.
country, and then I want to, as we go along here in the show today, combine the stories and tell. We want to talk about the book as well, but I was going to say that decency, integrity, those types of things, even though, yes, in the times that you were talking about, Sylvia, oh my God, yes, I remember how decent people were, how honest they were, and how accountable they were. And I look at how, unfortunately, that is being bred out of our young people. And that is something that I certainly believe we need to get back in. Ernie, give us an idea of your journey in America and to America.
Well, I was born here in the United States, although a pastor affectionately called me once a Hispanic trapped in an American body. And I say that humorously, thinking about current ideologies and so forth. But as a young man, I was sent out from the United States as a missionary to Latin America. I spent about 25 years there, so my story is very different. I've lived in and had lots of fellowship in time with the down and outs of Central America, and even the nicer places, say Mexico City and capital cities and so forth. I've seen the whole gambit, and there's such a class division, economic division, and I have a true perspective on the United States based on almost a lifetime of experience in Latin America. And this country has something special. And that something special is what attracts people from the world around to come here.
Amazing. You and Sylvia now are partners in ministry as well as husband and wife. And give us an idea of the ministry side of it. What compels you to do that? What led you into that particular field of interest? Tell us about your experience with the Lord.
Yes. Well, going way back, CL, to when I was 19 years old, driving from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to through Marianna, Florida. The night before, I heard the voice of God. I was on drugs, but I heard with my ears the voice of God saying these exact words: "Tomorrow you're going to get busted." And the next day, I was in jail. So I spent some time in road camp. The judge reviewed my case and took all charges away, um, and no felony charges against me. But I came from demonic oppression, from darkness, depression, rock music, drug use. and getting delivered powerfully from those elements gave me a unique perspective on people who are oppressed of the enemy. So when Sylvia and I got married, we began a ministry called Daystream Ministries International, and that is to bring health, freedom, deliverance of the captives as Jesus came to do, to bring deliverance and light to people in bondage and captivity. And we give seminars, we counsel people, and it's been a transformational process for many people.
Hold that thought right there, Ernie. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Ernie and Sylvia when I return. God bless you all. Don't go anywhere. Throughout the fruited plains to the CL Bryant Show, I am CL. Thank you so much for coming along with us here today. And I have on with me two great Americans who are doing the work that they have been assigned to their hands by our Father of our faith, Almighty God. And their work is one that I do believe transcends anything that we might consider a ethnic pocket.
Yeah.
They are ministry for all people, and we're going to talk more about that with my good friends Ernie and Sylvia. And Ernie, well, Sylvia, I want you to tell everyone now how to get in touch with you and Ernie to bring you to where they are, and also to help you if they're so inclined with your mission. Talk to us.
Well, we are very excited to be able to share our ministry with people, and you can look up online our ministry, Daystream Ministries International, and that's daystream.org. You will find how to contact us there, and it'll be our pleasure to share and explain who we are and what we do, and you'll be able to find a lot of information there as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Sylvia, speak to women of faith now, even though your message is for everyone. There are so many, and your story is inspiring for many reasons. But one reason is because you had the strength given to you by Almighty God to get up again, even though sometimes you might have found yourself down. Speak to that woman who might be where you were and give them some encouragement.
Definitely, CL. Yes. So the name of my book is New Beginnings, okay? And this new beginnings is in every area of our lives. When you read my story, you will be able to relate to it even if you are going through a very difficult transition. Let's say you lost somebody that you loved, you went through divorce, or maybe it's a happy thing and you're getting married now. Okay, you are having a baby, you are changing jobs. I mean, this is new beginnings, and the principles that I lay out in this book you can apply to every area of your life. Now, if I'm talking to women, I will suggest to you chapter number 5. Why? Because you're probably looking for a husband, okay? And there are principles in the Word of God that you need to follow if you need the wonderful husband that the Lord has for you. Okay, there are new beginnings in every area. And this book, CL, is for everyone that is facing challenges, that is facing difficulties, hardships, and it will give you the hope to start again, begin again. Because when you read it, you're going to see His goodness and His mercy and His love. And you're going to fall in love with Jesus. And He will make it possible for you. Why? Because He made it possible for me.
New
So,
beginnings. And Sylvia, tell everybody how to get their hands on that book, how to get you and Ernie to where they are. Y'all tell us again how to get the book, how to help you if we're so inclined, and how to get you to where we are. Talk to us.
Okay. CL, our listeners can go to Amazon and find the book New Beginnings. You can look up the name, the title, New Beginnings book, or you can look up Sylvia's name, Silvia Sauve. You'll find it there. And right now, there's a very good opportunity on Kindle for 99 cents.
Well, God bless both of you, and Lord knows. And folks, full disclosure, these are friends of mine. They truly are, and I've met with them, socialized with them. They're good people, and the story that Sylvia has to tell, I've had the privilege of hearing it firsthand across the table as we broke bread, and it is absolutely moving, and their story together is a moving story, and their ministry is one that I do believe will be certainly a dynamic one. So go there and find the book at Amazon. And I encourage you to support them because they are indeed doing the Lord's work. God bless you and God keep you is my prayer for you. And Annie and I send you big hugs, big kisses, and thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you for having us.
I'm CL. This is the CL Bryant Show. And that was Ernie and Silvia Sauve. And I certainly love the spirit that they have, the work that they do. It is all to advance the kingdom of Almighty God. Well, when we look at the advancement of that kingdom, and when we look at America's part in advancing that kingdom, uh, where did we fall short along the way? Okay, some might say that we never started right because of the curse, this taint of slavery that was on this country. Well, the world really may not have started right if we're going to hold ourselves to certain standards like that. What we're looking at and what we're wanting to examine is the outcome of how we correct problems that we have toward progress. And America, in many ways, especially along the lines of ethnicity, race, and social programs and all that kind of thing, have certainly tried to do what we can do. Sometimes we've done more than we should have done. And I think the Democrats are still very much inclined to do more than we should do. And so we find ourselves looking at who we are, where we're going, why we're going there. And we find our feet sometimes tangled up in our own various proclivities and problems that we create for ourselves. And surely, this thing with this partial government shutdown, it is an entanglement that we should never be in. We should that's what we should be arguing about. Why are we entangled like this? Because we're not dealing with the root cause of our problems as Americans. No, we're throwing word salads at our problems, but we have to talk about why we're in this predicament, why we're at a log jam, why we cannot get past our own political feelings. I'll tell you why, and you know why, because there are literally, evidently, Elon Omar found out that there are literally billions of dollars that can be had through chicanery in this country. And Democrats, certainly when you look at the track record of Joe Biden and his little boy, Hunter Biden, when you look at their track record, obviously Democrats, and I'm not saying it's just Democrats, I'm talking politicians in general, Throw all the bums out, someone once said. Huh? Because they're feeding on us. Yeah. But this is what we should do. And this is what we must do from this point on. We can't judge books by their covers. No. And you know what? The amazing thing about Donald Trump is that even though he was an attractive cover as a candidate and all of that type thing, there was a lot about I don't know, the window dressing on the cover or whatever, that a lot of people did not like because it was so in your face. Okay, people weren't used to that. They weren't used to that in your face type of attitude that the president has. All right, so even though he had that, and even though he was like that, the president uh, did not worry about people accepting his cover. And that is the problem with so many of the Democrats right now. They're afraid of who likes the cover of their book, and it's causing them to do really crazy things. Let them continue. Let them continue doing crazy stuff. That's good. Jasmine Crockett, just the other night, lost her primary bid for Texas Senate. Texas wasn't, and I pray God Texas will never be ready for a person like Jasmine Crockett. Okay, never be ready for that, especially since Annie and I are making the move down to Texas. Tell you why some other time. But that's what's happening. Florida's still the land of the free, the home of the brave, too. Great state Florida is, but Texas has to be a better fit for us. And the state that we will be in, I'll tell you about that when we return. I'm CL. Don't go anywhere. Be right back after the bottom of the hour.
I'm in a phone booth, baby. Number scratched on the wall. I'm new in Chicago. Got no one else to call.
And I'm nationwide. 3, 4.
CL back with you live and in living color throughout the fruited plains of the greatest nation on the face of the planet, the greatest success story the world has ever known, and that is America. Hey, friends, throughout the day, you've been hearing about self-sacrifice service and people who are in that type of service. I had Ernie, my friends, Ernie and Silvia on with me earlier, Sauve on with me earlier. And of course, New Beginnings is a book that Silvia has. And I encourage all of you to go to Amazon and find that book. Check it out. You never know what stage in life you are at. And as Americans, we never know what stage in our nation's history that we are at. And surely, just about every step that we're taking indicates to us that we are having new beginnings. This thing is going on in Iran. God knows how that will turn out, but I do believe that it will turn out in our favor. And of course, the president is under fire from some in his own party. I'm very surprised. Well, not really surprised at Rand Paul. Never surprised at Thomas Massie. Both of them, I had an opportunity to work with them in getting them elected as grassroots candidates from Kentucky. And the thing that puzzles me the most is sometimes our dogmatism and how dogmatic we can be and self-righteous. Let's just face it, self-righteous in some cases we can be when we don't think that the team is just that. It's a team. And in order to win, we must win as a team, even though some plays we don't want to necessarily run or even help run or block for or whatever. It's a team effort. And as Coach Adcock, Billy Joe Adcock, God rest his soul, was my high school coach. Billy Joe always said, "There's no I in team." And I've heard that millions of times since. But the first time I ever heard someone say that was Billy Joe Adcock. There's no I in team, Bryant. There's no I in team. And I think those who are trying to hinder and uh, delay or slow down the president's efforts to keep our nation safe are absolutely in the wrong. And they are drawing unnecessary attention to themselves at a time when we really cannot afford any type of political grandstanding. And that's exactly what is going on. Many of them, and Rand Paul voted with the Democrats yesterday in order to halt the war in Iran. And why in the world would we want to do anything like that? We don't. And so let me tell you why we don't. And but first, let me mention this. Let me mention this. The president is demanding now to have a voice in whoever is the next leader of Iran. And I don't blame him for that, and you shouldn't either. And you know what? There's so many, as I was talking about yesterday, there's so many who are on our team, who are on our side, or claim to be on our side, on our team, who are actively pushing against interests that secure our borders and secure us as Americans. And so, my friends, what am I saying? Am I saying that America should have its dominance? We should throw our weight around on all of the lesser countries of the earth? Should we strive toward world domination as Americans? No. But in this case, when we're talking about Iran and what has gone on in Iran for years, 47 years, these people have been yearning to be free. And even though we can't bring their huddled masses here to America, America's shoulders have proven to be broad enough, strong enough to put down oppression of our fellow travelers on this earth as no other nation has been blessed to do. And friends, I'm telling you, I truly believe it has been a blessing for the world to have a nation whose principles have been founded upon individual freedom of man. It's written in our documents. Thomas Jefferson may not have had my great grandfather's face in mind, or even mine in mind when he penned these words. We are endowed with certain unalienable rights. We who? We, the citizens of this nation that we are declaring independence for. We, anyone who will become a citizen, that person is endowed with certain unalienable rights. When he penned those words, I don't care who he had in mind. When he penned those words, he was speaking both to citizens of the present and the future. And even though those words did not execute what they eventually did further down the road in 1865, as they eventually did, when he penned those words, he guaranteed that I would be sitting here, the great grandson of former slaves in this country, speaking to you as a free American. And that's why people come here, because they yearn to be free, because they're enslaved in other places. So many times the taste of liberty, so many times the taste of freedom is something that people know must be very sweet, but they never really experience it until they come to this nation. Friends, it's a birthright that you should enjoy. And for those who come here legally, it's one that they should enjoy. And oddly enough, those who come here and immigrate here legally to this country, they seem to enjoy it and appreciate it more than that. They appreciate it more than those of us who have been here 7 generations, in my case, as far as I know. And so this is something that the president is asking for our security, and that is to know who takes over that vacuum that is being methodically created in Iran. Who takes that over? American, you should know and you should care who takes that over for the safety not only of yourself, but for the safety of your posterity, for the safety of your children and the future of this great land that we love to boast about. And so many of us love to hate it in so many different ways and different methods. But this time, this time, we are in a righteous battle against a very evil foe, and I do believe we have them subdued. Finally, you have a president who has the intestinal fortitude to carry out the mission that so many who came before him, from Ronald Reagan till now, did not do. We should have dealt with that Iran problem when they ran out Shah, the Crown Prince Pahlavi. We should have dealt with that. But I think Reza Pahlavi and others, not only in this administration, have plans on how to govern Iran. We'll see how that pans out here in the days and weeks to come after the mission is over. All right. Hey, guys, we know Romans 8:28. And I've been driving this one home for the last few days. For we know, I'm talking about people of faith here. We know that that God allows all things to work together for the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose in their life. And I do believe that America is a nation that has been founded and called to a purpose. Oh, yes, all we like sheep here in this country, all of us are like sheep in this country. We have gone astray from the principles that made us what we are and who we are. We have gone astray. In the closing segment, I want to say something about that. Don't any of you go anywhere. I'm CL. Thank you for coming along with us on this journey as we build the bridge to conversation. Be right back. Closing segment of today's show. And I'm really glad that you've been along with us as we have been talking about various things. We started off the program talking with two very dynamic missionary ministers of the gospel of Jesus Christ, Ernie and Silvia, my good friends of the stories. And I got to tell you something, folks. You can go to Amazon and get New Beginnings, Sylvia's book. It is one that will help you whatever stage you might be in right now at life. God is a God of all kinds of chances, not just second. He's a God of all kinds of chances. Believe me, he truly is. And when we look at America, I was saying when we left here just a few minutes ago, when we left, I was talking about how all of us, like sheep, have gone astray, and I was pointing out a scripture passage in Romans 8:28 that assures those of us who are people of faith. It assures us, and I encourage all of you this weekend, or whatever day it might be, to find the worship center of your choice and go there and get closer in touch with that person that our founders referred to as our creator. And even if you think the genius of America, and even that statement put there by Thomas Jefferson, even if you think that you are your creator, you have the right in America to believe that. That's the beauty and that's the genius of that statement. You have the right to believe that. And even though I may disagree with you, it is my privilege and it also is my right to defend your right to say what you have to say to the absolute death. That's America. Defending each other's privileges to be who we were designed to be by our creator. And America, you were designed to be something. All these people coming from all over the world to come to this place. You can go to Russia or China or wherever you might travel. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can never truly be that. But people who come to America, I don't care where you come from, you can become an American. Yeah. And it's because of the Judeo Christian ethic that we're founded upon. Abraham, take your people. There were all kinds of people that Abraham had with him. And I'm going to take you to a place I'm going to show you. Okay? And there's an act that I want you to do. We call it circumcision now, so that I know who so that you know who all of your people are and are part of this covenant. America, we have a covenant in our founding documents. There's a covenant there that is etched upon the American soul. At least it used to be. I don't know if it still is or not. I know that it's still etched upon mine and upon that of my children because I put it there. But it is certainly being bled out of the American bloodstream. And the American birthright is being robbed, is being hijacked from our children. And these things are the things that Sylvia talks about as well in her book, that America, you need a new beginning. We need a new beginning. But how can it be that we can begin again if, in fact, we are locked in self-hatred and locked in doing whatever is necessary to attack the leadership that is duly elected for our nation and by our nation of the people. He came from the people. And how is it that the people's house, so many in the people's house who are congressmen in the people's house, how is it that so many of them have such anti-American sentiments? Support of those who are against America, they're all on board with that. But defense of the principles and the sovereignty of a nation, they're attacking the very heart, the very messenger of making our nation great again. Does that make any sense to you? It doesn't make any sense to us, and it's confusing our children, especially when they start also confusing definitions of gender, family, those types of things. And friends, don't let you forget that when you change the definition, you change the destination. And our destination for so many years has been toward excellence, has been toward greatness, has been toward, yes, American dominance. And there's nothing wrong with that. But now everybody on the globe should get a trophy and America should pay for it. No. Donald Trump told us very clearly his first time running for office in 2016. I was on 2 of his advisory boards. He told us very clearly that we were being made chumps of. We were being played for fools. And America, open your eyes. That is real. That is true. We had been shoo-shooing the Iranians along through I don't know how many presidents, 6 presidents since Reagan. We have been shoo-shooing them along, and they have been progressively becoming more and more evil in this world. Finally, we have an American leader who is willing to face the heat, face the winds that blow against his face, and face all of the onslaught that comes his way because of doing the right thing. And on that note, let me say, friends, it costs you something to do the right thing, especially as an American these days. It costs you something to stand up for liberty and freedom. It is time now for men and women of courage to step forward and join in the chorus of keeping and making America great again. There's nothing wrong with being a patriot. There's nothing wrong with being proudly an American. If America goes away, tell me, anybody, tell me, where do people go? The crime rate is becoming, we have enough criminals in this country of our own. We don't need to import anymore. Crime rate. Virginia, a man who should never be on the street, stabs a woman to death, an American woman, to death, at a bus stop in this country. How did he get there? How did he get there when he shouldn't be in the country at all? You know the answer. He was let there. He was allowed to be there by liberal progressive policies. What does that tell you about liberal progressive policies then? It tells you that they do not work in this society. We have enough homemade criminals in America. We have enough of them. We don't need to import that type of trouble onto our shores. The president has had the courage to stand up and do exactly what was necessary to secure our homeland. I pray that Mark Wayne Mullins, the next appointed Secretary of Homeland Security, will do a good job. Personally, I think Chrissy Nome was doing a good job. But from the very outset, and this is the kind of pettiness that we should never yield to, but unfortunately, we do. I always thought that they didn't like her because she's pretty. But she would certainly have met her. She's very smart. Brilliant, in fact. Mark Wayne Mullins will do a good job. And I certainly hope that you start doing your job as Americans. And that is to exercise your liberty and your life, your liberty. And let us put ourselves in a position by God to pursue those things that make us truly happy as Americans. Leaving a legacy for our children should make you happy. Scripture tells us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. There was a time, America, when we were loaded with good people, good men and women who wanted to leave an inheritance, a better time, a better place for their children and their children's children. Let's stand up. Let's get back to doing that. Hey, I'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless and keep you all. Until then, I'm CL.
Understand.